Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead, and today I'm smoking, Purple Haze by, I think it's 5 Points Cannabis. It's like 29%, something like that. It's nice and strong. It's a sativa. It's a haze, so it's going to hit you behind the eyes. But basically, I was laying around the other day getting ready for bed. I was lying in bed. I was TikToking. I was thinking about all the shit that I wanted to do for the podcast and, trying to come up with an idea. And at some point, my algorithm had changed. But all of a sudden, I started seeing like all these basketball videos from like the 90s, right? Like the playoff run for the Bulls, a bunch of stuff for the Celtics, a bunch of the old school, like dunk competitions and stuff like that, which is great because quite honestly, I really enjoy that shit. That's the stuff I was into growing up. Everybody's got their thing, right? So like some kids want to be a doctor, some kids want to be a dentist, a vet, whatever you want to be. I get it. And generally, I think when you're a kid, you like to sit and like pontificate over the concept or the idea that that's what you're going to be and you're going to be the best of the best. So it got me thinking. When I was a kid, that's all I could think about. That's all I dreamed about, being the best basketball player ever. Watching Michael Jordan, trying to mimic him and emulate what he does. Obviously, I'm not him. I'm not trying to say I was anywhere close to that, but that's what you do as a kid, right? You dream big, and you want to be the best of the best. Well, when I was lying in bed and thinking about this, I started to think, what are some things that people may have dreamt of being? And then I thought of, obviously, doctor. I thought of, lawyer. I thought of Batman, because at one point I wanted to be Batman, and I'm pretty sure I could do it. Granted, that didn't work out too well. Or did it? I'm just playing. Anyway, I wanted to be Batman. I wanted to be a basketball player. I could see myself as a lawyer. I like to argue. And I was wondering what other people thought about. Because there's guys that I know that had, it always seems like the media pushes people and people wanting to be on TV or wanting to be actors or in the public spotlight. But not everybody wants that, man. Some people just want to do their thing behind the scenes. And while I was thinking this, I thought to myself, I wonder if, man or woman, if there's any, and obviously I know you're not a kid when you're thinking, I have to preface this because what's coming is not normal, okay? When you're a kid, I guess I know that it's not kids that would be thinking of this, but like, let's say teenagers, right? Is there anybody that when they were a teenager thought to themselves, I'm going to be the top porn star. I'm going to be the top stripper. The world's going to know my name. And then, of course, after thinking that, I think about all the things that you have to do to be like an athlete, an actor, to reach those peaks, right? The best lawyer, the best doctor. So when I played basketball, it was practice almost every single night with the school. Then it was practice with the rep team. Then when I got home and finished my homework, it was now practice in my driveway, doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do and just honing my skills for hours and hours on end. Didn't matter if it was snowing, I'd shovel the driveway and play out on the driveway. Didn't matter if it was raining, I'd let the rain hit me and I'd still play. Right? I'd have gloves on. If you're Canadian, you know this. Maybe if you're from Minnesota, you know this too. But you'd be outside in the ice, in the snow, just playing, shooting baskets, trying to get better at your game. I guess my question is there anybody out there that was like, I want to be the best porn star? And what was there practice? Did you put effort into trying to become the best? Like, how do you make your dick bigger? Can you make your dick bigger? If you don't have the biggest dick, right? Then how, like, do you have to like perfect the stroke? Is that what happens? Like as a dude, you have to be like, oh, I'm the stroke master. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you do, like, are you lying on a bed and like humping a pillow with like how do you measure your skill in that? Because I'd imagine at like 15, 16, not everybody's, bumping uglies. So, I realize this is stupid, but it's a sesh, baby. I hope you're enjoying it. Thank you for joining me. I hope everything's going well for you. I hope you're having, a good life and everything's working out. Or at least if things aren't working out, you're working towards making it work out. But that was my question. Like, is there any 15, 16, 14, whatever kid, like, or is there anybody that I know maybe that was like, that was their thing? Like, at one point I dreamt of being Michael Jordan in front of crowds and, winning the dunk competition, being the best defensive player, best offensive player, whatever. Is there, like, people out there that thought when they were a kid, like, oh, I'm going to be the best porn star? And I'm going to be the best one to do it in the butt. I'm going to be the best one to do it regular. Like, were people thinking like that? Or is it just out of, or is everybody that goes into something like that, are they just into, or I mean, are they just in it for the money? Because there's porn stars out there that are brilliant, and they made an educated choice to go into the business because they recognized that they could maximize their profit and minimize the time spent making that profit, right? So, like, I don't know who they are. I can't remember their names, but there's a couple people that are like Mensa smart, dude. So if you're Mensa smart when you're a kid and you're thinking like, okay, I can become the best actor, I could become an astronaut, I could become the best basketball player, I could become the president of the United States, I could become whatever. And then all of a sudden they're like, but you know what? Porn star's the move, really. Like, if we're thinking about it, the way to maximize money and make the most amount of money as quickly as you possibly can would be to bone for a living. And again, you have this like really, really short window, right? So like the window that you're operating in is finite. It's not going on forever. You have like 6 years to make the most of this opportunity. So if you're Mensa smart and you're thinking, how do I make bajillions of dollars and then go on to something else, why wouldn't it be possible that maybe somebody like that, as a kid or a teenager, whatever, looking at your future, you would think that, hey, I could be the best boner on the planet? I don't know, dude. It's just what came to mind. I was just thinking, like, is there a protocol to become the best at everything? Or is something like that just like luck? Like, can you build the skill to become the best porn star in the world? And obviously I'm looking at this from like a guy's perspective, right? So I'm talking about dudes. I don't know much about like women doing, but I'm thinking like from a dude's perspective, because let's be honest, we're, pretty lazy and like to make easy money pretty quick, and we like to get down, you know what I'm saying? So why wouldn't, like, it'd be like selling sperm. Like, do you ever think, there's a good question. Well, I don't know if it's good, but there's a question. Do you ever think, like, once you learn that you could be a sperm donor and make money off donating your sperm, is there a part of you that's like, oh, I want to be the best sperm, like, I want them to call me when they need something, I want all the surrogates to be like, hey, I want that guy's shit, like, is that not a possibility? I think of weird shit. I know that, okay? I know this is fucking ridiculous. I know that this isn't exactly like how you would, I'm just thinking about life, man. I'm just really trying to think about like all the different angles of life, because as you get older, you realize that not everybody's the same. Not everybody thinks the same way. Not everybody wants to do the same things. So is it not possible that like growing up, one of your buddies was thinking the whole time like, I'm going to be the best porn star ever. I'm going to be the Tom Cruise of porn, doing his own stunts and shit. Think about that. They're like, porn's pretty boring. It's always the same 3 scenarios. Doctor lady comes in, or like, teacher lady, or like librarian lady, or, mom, whatever, right? So, you coming in as like the new Tom Cruise of porn, right? You're like, let's make um Missionary Impossible, let's say. I'm sure that's already the name of a movie, but I'm saying, and then the whole thing is like high risk sex maneuvers. Like you're doing it instead of just hanging on to the plane, you're like doing it in the plane, like you're doing it while hanging on like King Kong to the plane, like shit like that, you know? You could come in, you could be like the Rock. You could be the Rock of porn. Dude, this joint's actually pretty nice. I'll be honest with you. I'm very surprised about it. I didn't expect to get this giggly. That's what I like about this podcast is I could basically talk about whatever. It doesn't really matter. Because like this is the type of thing you do at a sesh, right? Like you talk about some topic comes to mind and you and your buddy sit around puffing one and talking about whatever. But like does anybody like I know it's a weird thought. I'm not saying it's not a weird thought, but like at the same time, come on. You try to tell me that this can't be a possibility? Like not one person ever has been sitting there with his buddies when he's like 15 years old being like, "You know what, man? I'm going to become the biggest porn star on the planet, bro." And then your buddy's like, "How? You haven't even done it yet." "Don't worry, bro. I got it working. I got it going. I got an idea." And this dude just like spends all of his weekends banging whatever he can, whether it's like just a hole in the wall or a fucking pillow on the bed or whatever. And he's just like, "Okay, this is how I'm doing it." And then as he get like, okay, so if you're going to be that guy, right? Do you have a survey for your partners? Like after you're done, you just like you kind of roll over and you're like, "Hey, I've got this app on my phone. Like, can you give me a Yelp review so I know what I'm doing properly, and what I need to improve on?" Dude, seriously, think about that. You're lying in bed. You're lying in bed next to your partner there, and you go, "Hey, just because I need to know, because I'm practicing here." What? Can you tell me what I did great by filling out this survey on my phone? And then they fill out the survey. And as they get to the end, they realize that they're not the only one you're giving this to. And it's no longer a one-on-one. And they're like, "Wait a minute." And you're like, "Yep, that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be the greatest porn star alive." I'm going to make huge cinematic movies where I'm, like Indiana Jones style, running away from a boulder while boning a lady. I'm going to hang one-handed off a plane like Tom Cruise and jump off a cliff while boning. Like, I'm going to bring cinematography and potentially the greatest movie experience to the screen in your room on your laptop. But I mean, they could afford it. Like porn makes a ton of money a year, right? Like they were booming. They would make, as far as I know, the porn industry is worth quite a lot of money, right? I feel like they could step up their game, that their production could get a little bit better, that their end result could be a little more cinematic. Imagine if mainstream directors and producers started directing and producing porn. Dude, that shit would be good. You wouldn't fast forward through the storyline and be like, "Okay, let's just get to it." You know what I'm saying? You would actually probably stick around for the whole thing. You could rebuild XXX movie theaters. I don't know if they still have them. I assume that the whole internet thing kind of killed the need for that. But you could rebuild those, have those theaters where, you could go watch and make them actually good. Like you could do 007, but better. Like imagine Spielberg made like doing Private Ryan. you know? What if he did that? Dude, the possibilities are endless. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was also thinking, obviously, like strippers. Like, do you ever think that they're the they're like, I'm gonna be the best? And I'm not trying to take away from the plight and the really. I'm not trying to take away from the negative side of it. I'm not trying to discount anything, people that are like put into the business and, are used up and cycled out. I'm talking just about the fact that there has to be at least one or two people that were like, I'm going to be the best stripper. I'm going to wave my junk around better than anybody on the planet, baby. I'm going to get up there and it's going to be like David Copperfield is stripping. You think there's anybody like that? Like, maybe that's like a documentary. Go find the people who trained. Like imagine, so you train for everything you do, right? Like you train in business, you train, if you're an actor, you train that skill. If you're a fighter, you train to be a fighter and whatever. Like if you're in the XXX industry, right? You have to train. Like it's still physical. I don't feel like you could just show up and be like, okay, like I feel like you gotta do a few stretches before you start. And I feel like that because that's something that you would have to do, then you naturally just try to train so that you could do that better, right? And then it becomes, I guess if you're into it, it becomes like, I'm going to be the best that I could be at this. So you train, like, but that's the difference. See, people don't think of like boning on the side as training. Like, that's fun. But I get it, man. If you're going to be acrobatic like that and bend over backwards and, whatever you do, like, you got to stretch it out. You got to be in relatively good shape. Like, you can't be unfit and be, hanging off a railing or hanging off the side of a plane while boning. Like, I wonder if there's like a porn star training regiment to keep yourself like fit, man or woman, it doesn't matter. I'm just see, I spiral with these thoughts sometimes. I just go down this like big old rabbit hole of like, what if you played this out, you know? There's got to be people. I think that a documentary should be made on finding the people in the XXX industry who wanted to be the best at being in the XXX industry. Or adult industry, I guess. Why XXX? I don't know. I'm stoned. I really like that. That was a good little joint there. It was tasty. It was the right amount too. It was like probably a 0.7 of a roll. But yeah, it was good. But it's definitely got my mind fucking wandering in the weirdest thoughts. Like, can you imagine you're dating when you're younger and you're like the person that you're dating, you have to explain to them, or the people that you're dating, like, hey, I'm really just doing this for practice. Do you think that there's people that would sign up for that? Like, if like a personal bone assistant, where the porn star could hire a person and just have a steady list well, I guess not, because I guess then that's prostitution. I guess it depends on where you do it, right? Because like if you do it in California, wherever you shoot porn, in Montreal, I think you could shoot porn in Montreal. Wherever you do that, then you would be allowed to, because then it wouldn't be, well, I mean, porn would be prostitution then, right? I don't know how it works. But my point is that imagine you could hire people to come and help you learn how to bone better. Build up your stamina. Like before a shoot, do porn stars have like a lineup of people that come over, or they just like they bone all day so that they can last way longer in the movie? I have so many questions. Maybe I should have been training. No, I definitely shouldn't have been training to do that. But like, yeah, are there people that believe that they can be the best fucking porn star? Like, I do the best. I wiggle my boobs the best. Like, you got a 5-point lineup, like teams, and all the different companies in the porn industry are teams, and you're like training to sign up to those teams, and then each team has their like LeBron James, their Michael Jordan, their Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? Like, you travel as a team, you work as a team, you each play your own position. Like, one guy is the superstar, and then you got like two others that are sort of like just about the complete package, but when they're together, they're like excellence, And then you have the defensive players that have like, one has a nice ass, one has like a nice whatever, Then you have like the goalie. the goalie the goalie is like, I don't know, just like they're they're not necessarily like the most skilled, but they're really good at like making sure no one leaves. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that I think about. Dude, I'm a dork. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be kind of I would really like to know if that's a thing. I would really, really like to know if somebody has ever at any point has thought like, I'm going to be the best stripper. I'm going to be the best whatever, you know? And they just put their whole game in it. Like, they live it. They breathe it, Yeah. I know I'm weird. It's fine. I just wanted to have a little smoke and have a little discussion about, stupid thoughts, random thoughts. I'm not saying that I should also say this. I'm not saying that anybody should do this. I'm just trying, I like knowing why people do things. And I like thinking about the things that people might do, right? And I think about a lot of weird shit sometimes. And my brain goes down like this odd pathway into like what could be funny about this, I guess. Sometimes, not all the time, but it did this time. And then I really wanted to understand the mentality. Like, I wanted to put the idea of the mentality of like a superstar athlete to the mentality of like a superstar porn star. Like, what similarities do they have? And do they dream about doing that? Because I don't know anybody that would dream about doing that. However, like I've said, it's a very enjoyable thing to do. So I could see the potential for at least somebody wanting to be like, that's their thing. That's what drives them to do it, Yeah, that's what I think. Those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. I hope you enjoyed the sesh. I hope you come back next week with me, Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead, on, again, Thoughts Off the Stem. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Watch the Sunday strain review playlist. That'll give you a bunch of strains that you might want to try. I'm always working on new ones and always putting them up, so subscribe and then you get notified when they go up. Check out the other episodes, oh my god, sessiosodes. And next time you want to have a sesh, throw one of those bad boys on, and then you're always seshing with somebody. I'm always ready to hang out. Visit tots420.com. And yeah, until next time, keep your lids low, baby.